This is the HP iPAQ 910, a Windows Mobile 6.1 professional smartphone that features a full QWERTY keyboard as well as micro SD slot and a 3-megapixel autofocus camera. You can see that the 910 has a fairly traditional form factor. It's a 2.5-inch touchscreen display in a landscape orientation over top of a regular keyboard. It's not all that thick. It's about 16 millimeters in thickness, but it's a good overall size. Very pocketable if it is a little bit heavy at about 151 grams. Part of that weight, though, is made up by an extremely large battery. This is a 1,940 milliamp hour battery. It's not really thick, but it takes up the entire back of the phone almost. Keyboard is quite nice. The keys are rounded but not domed, kind of like a can sitting on its side. They're a little slick for my liking, but they have a good feel overall. D-pad and everything works really well. The scroll wheel on the side here works fine for scrolling, but it seems to be a little inaccurate when it comes to select functions. You sometimes have to press really hard to get it to work, which means you're never sure if you pressed it and if it understood it or not. There's a dedicated OK button, which is handy for when you're scrolling through apps, and then there's the 2-stage camera shutter button too. Well, I like the fact that the micro SD slot is nicely covered. I think having the same cover for the mini USB connector that is used for charging is a bit overkill. This is something you're going to have to use fairly often. I just think having to cover and uncover it constantly is a bit of a pain. Also not real thrilled with the small size of the power standby button at the top. It's usable, but for somebody with big fingers, you can't really just press on it as well. You kind of need to get a nail in there. For some reason, something we haven't seen in a long time is a dedicated reset button, and perhaps even more strange is the external antenna connector that's down here. Something you don't normally see. You can see the camera on the back has a self-portrait mirror as well as an LED flash. It's a little slow in operation, but it seems to take decent pictures overall. Like almost all Windows Mobile professional devices, the HP iPAQ 910 comes with a stylus. This one telescopes, so you can see it extends to almost full length of the device, which is quite nice. It's made of metal, plastic tips. People are going to like that in general. The Today screen on the iPAQ 910 is pretty straightforward. There's no fancy sliding panels like you see on the smartphone version of Windows Mobile 6.1. It's pretty straightforward. There's a handy little widget here for accessing, turning on Wi-Fi, turning the phone on and off, turning on Bluetooth, that kind of thing. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Indicators for new messages, date and time. You can have a live search thing where you just type on the home screen and hit the return button and it goes. Nothing too exciting though. You can see the applications here. And one of the nice things that I like, is you don't often see on Windows Mobile phones, is you can use the keyboard, the QWERTY keyboard, to skip ahead. So I have the start menu up and I hit P and it automatically jumps to programs. And likewise, I can hit I to automatically skip to Internet Explorer, which is pretty handy. You can see there's an internet connection sharing application there. Java's built in. Remote Desktop allows you to remotely control a Windows PC from your smartphone, which is pretty handy, but a little bit difficult to do on a QVGA display like the iPAQ 910. Speaker independent voice dialing is nice, and the normal task manager that you see in most of the Windows Mobile 6.1 devices today. The only other thing of note that's particularly different for the iPAQ is the connection configuration application. HP iPAQ Data Connect will set up your phone to work with pretty much any SIM card around the world. It worked out really well for us switching back and forth between AT&T and T-Mobile. Other than that, the software is pretty straightforward, nothing too exciting on it. Standard Windows Mobile email clients. It has MMS support, SMS support, push for Microsoft Exchange email servers, that kind of thing. It's a nice package, solidly built, feels firm in the hand. Keyboard's quite nice. People are going to like it in general. The real Achilles heel is just that scroll wheel here on the side. But overall, we really like the iPAQ 910, and something you should check out.